The second quarter. Thanks for the comments down there, boys. Good insight into the huddles, Tim.
Yeah, interesting. Scoresby wanting to use that bench side of the ground, kicking against the breeze. We saw pretty much every time Ringwood got the ball and their kick-ins were coming to this side, so a bit of a different tactic.
Home ground advantage coming in there. The nous, Damien, as we're almost ready to go here for the second quarter of this top-of-the-table clash. Scoresby leading 5-3-33 to the Ringwood Redbacks 3 straight 18.
Umpire Sally holds the ball aloft, and we're underway in this second term. The Magpies with a handy 15-point buffer. The tap won by Power again, using his superior height to advantage. Can the Redbacks get back into this game? Tapped forward, backwards in fact for the Magpies, and taking possession is Walker on the left foot. Sends a high raking ball towards centre half forward. Good spoil at the back from the Redbacks defence. The bounce eludes Chadwick. It's still in the middle of centre field. Trying to break away as Jackson unsuccessfully dropping the ball. It'll be a Scoresby free kick. The recipient will be Daniel Diezzo. He's been prominent today.
He's been good, DSO. Big man, but he moved pretty well as his kick goes wider. So he's gone against the coach's instructions and gone out to the club room side, and it's dribbled out of bounds for a boundary throw in on their right half forward flank. So
I don't really know what he was thinking.
Obviously, Daniel wasn't thinking, wasn't listening at quarter time.
No, he went to a 2-on-1 and he wasn't anywhere really near his teammates' advantage, and as we said, it was the opposite side of the ground they want to go. So yeah,
maybe just want another chance to tap it down, because he did straight to himself, but he lost it. Burmeister came through, couldn't get his hands on the footy cleanly, and Chadwick's away. Handball's out in front there of Mitchell Walker, who can't quite pick it up. Panicked a little bit as he saw the big, muscly man in front of him, Tim Wack, I believe it was. No, Scott Lang, who wrapped him up. So we'll have a bounce at the centre half forward for the Magpies.
Favouring the supermarket side of the ground.
They are, aren't they? I parked my car in there. It says only 2-hour parking, but I'm running the risk, Damo, as DSO won the tap down, but Chadwick intercepts the handball and gets a left foot snap around the corner. It's straight up in the air. Few flies from everywhere. Hands on the footy there for the Redbacks. Coming away with it was Wack, or Calvin Gregg, sorry. Greg lost the footy on a quick kick around the corner from Mark Williams, though, finds Jack Blythe, who was prominent in that first quarter.
Blythe kicks it towards the grandstand side of the ground. I've liked his game so far. He was looking for his teammate in Declan Hill. It was spoiled by his opponent over the line. We'll have a ball in.
You better hope them parking inspectors aren't listening to us here live on 98.1, Matty.
I don't know how many parking inspectors wander around the Scoresby village.
You'd be surprised. Tap one. Yes. At the front there by Diezzo. Let's take it away for the Redbacks by Atwell. Sends a right foot ball towards the centre field. At the front of the pack is Dyche, and he was claimed at a tackle. We'll have a bounce about 60 metres out from the Redbacks goal. In fact, we're probably on true centre wing. So the ball up once again. It's been a free-flowing encounter. You'd expect that in these conditions. Trying to break through the pack there for the Redbacks is Burmeister. It's sent towards centre wing. Picking up the ball there is Declan Hill. He tried to, gave it back to his teammate in Hill. Hill, a high ball towards centre half forward. Diving up for the football there was Bronze Geest. Loose players trying to break away as Jackson got the hand pass away. Intercepted there by Walker for the Magpies. He claims a tackle. It was high. It will be a Ringwood free kick and a shot on goal 40 metres out. And I think the recipient there is Justin Dyche.
It is Justin Dyche. Is it a high tackle? Yeah, no, that's high from Mitchell Walker.
There's been quite a few high tackles today, I've noticed, actually.
Dropping the knees, Tim. Are you going to shout that out there? Or no?
Well, maybe it's poor tackling technique. I don't know.
Recklessness.
Yeah.
So Justin Dyche, we're kicking from about 45 metres out on a 45-degree angle. This to bring the Redbacks to within 9 points. Deliberate approach. It's swinging towards the left, and it's only a minor score. So Ringwood, their first blemish of the afternoon. They're 3-1-19. Scoresby 5-3-33. Early second term on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. Yep.
So Brongeist is going to bring it back in. And a little bit of that, like we said, didn't take into account the breeze there, Justin Dyche. It's probably a pretty big arc here at Scoresby. I'm a big stickler for the arc distance. I don't know whether it's 50, but it'll be up there with some of them. Close. So Bronze Geest is given the hurry up from the umpire, and he pays attention to Goldsworthy's instructions. It goes out wide, that bench side, and finds Bradley Jones. He goes down the line and finds DSO, just takes off. Sweeping handball in the middle to McConnon. McConnon got it over the top to his brother, and then he swung a handball forward, but it's coming through his grease, and he picks it up. He's been pretty good for the Redbacks. Fumbled, though, and the quick handball forward from Jonathan Roberts is going to look for McConnon again, or Milligan, and they've made their way up to centre wing without really taking any clean possession.
One too many handballs, though. I think he just got caught up in the moment. A few handballs strung together, and then that extra one forward to a one-on-one didn't really favour his teammate.
Luckily, Greason didn't hurt him coming through like a steam train there as it's tossed in. Power misses it, so does DSO, and slapping it away there looks like Dylan Blackburn. And then the Magpies hack it forward, coming through his hair. He tried to tap it onto Paravicini. Korjic sort of rode that wave that was Tim Wack. And now Williams will pick it up from the handball. He drops it, however, and it's moving forward. Coming out of there looks to be Burmeister or Greason. It's Greason with the short left foot ball. Thompson does well to spoil it away from Toby Richards. Sorry, not Toby Richards. Zach Callanoo, who's been quiet, but he gets a free kick. Advantage taken as Blythe's on centre wing. He goes short in ball with the left foot up and finds his target in the middle there in Blackburn, who came in for Farmer, and he swings it wide to Power. The Scoresby fans unhappy with that free kick that was paid as Blythe finds the foot again. He doesn't stop running. Left foot ball inside 50 is towards Jordanov. It's out the back, however. McConnon does well. Keeps it in play, however, but running it out of bounds for a boundary throw on is Declan Hill. And it's in the left forward pocket for the Ringwood Redbacks. They trail by 14 points, 5 minutes gone in this second term.
So it's deep inside the Redbacks forward 50 here. Could almost say Krawczyk rode the whack in more ways than one. Throw in. Chance for the Redbacks to score their first major of the term. Hand pass comes out of the pack to Apwell, who snaps on his right foot, and it's just on the wrong side of the post. Minor score. So Ringwood 3-2-20. They're pressing. Scoresby a 5-3-33. 5 minutes into the second term on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
Be disappointed there. No one manning Atwell on the defensive side of that forward 50 stoppage.
And a couple of chances here, Ringwood. They just get the sense they need to capitalise on it while they have the breeze and the momentum. Bronzegeese to bring it back into play for the Maggies.
Usually a good ball user.
Kicks to himself, gains some meterage, gets the hand pass away. It missed the intended target in McConnon. Could be costly. McConnon has the poise, however, to spear the ball out wide towards left half back. It was Cal. And it's taken there by Ryan Hicks, another of multiple siblings out there. We'll have a bounce 55 out.
Just the three today, Damon.
I consider
it's multiple. I'm just saying, it's just the three usually.
Plus two Chadwicks as
usually
well.
more, isn't it? And two McConnons.
Diezzo won the tap. We'll see it over the line.
2 Hicks.
There's 3 Hicks.
Yeah.
3 Hicks, 2 Chadwicks, and 2 McConnons.
And a partridge in a pear tree. So we'll have a throw in again, 60 metres out from the Ringwood goal, trailing by 13 points, 7 minutes into this second term. Power won the tap, only slightly, but gets a decisive kick inside 50. Can someone take a grab? It's well rode, good crumbing. A chance now, raking away there is Mitch Farmer. Couldn't quite take it effectively. The Scoresby defence trying to mop it up. It was almost holding the ball. They will it forward through persistence. Diving on top of it is Dyte. Will he receive a free kick? The umpire's blown the whistle. It's going the other way, and it'll be a Scoresby ball in the favour of Scotty Duncan in the right back pocket.
Very, very interesting there from umpire Sully, allowing Toby Richards, saying he got rid of it. He could have been pinged by Farmer. So Duncan switches the play to Bronzegeest, who's had a fair bit of the footy. He's obviously their main ball user in the back 50s. He takes a bounce almost immediately after taking off and goes back across the ground and finds Mitchell Walker. Walker now, long left foot ball down the line. He's looking for Hicks, but it missed him. Benny Power takes on one. He dropped the ball. He's gone. Got to be gone. Holding the ball. So Scoresby get the footy where they wanted it, but not the original means, but it is a short ball from Ryan Hicks now, and he finds his target in Jake Ryle. So Farmer holds him up. Ryle right on the cricket pitch, swings onto his left boot and stabs it out wide, looking for the leading target there in Williams. Handball over the top to McConnon. McConnon snaps it around the corner. It might go all the way here.
Hit the top.
Hit the post.
Bottom of the post.
Hits the bottom of the post. Dribble sort of skidded on. A little bit of a grubber as it landed and snapped for about 35 metres out. We've gone 8.5 minutes here. Scoresby 5-4-34 or 5-5-35. 5-4-34 to Ringwood 3-2-20.
So the Redbacks eager to clear. That may have been touched on the mark. Umpire will call play on in any case. Good take on the half volley by Power, but Scoresby have the numbers for Jared Hicks, who chips it inside 50, and it'll be a shot on goal from directly in front into the arms of his brother Nathan Hicks.
It's the first time they've really gone forward this quarter, Scoresby. They're able to string a few possessions together, which Ringwood haven't allowed them to do in the first 8 minutes or so of this quarter.
Didn't panic
not
then,
bad.
Jared Hicks.
In any case, the goal has been kicked. Hicks has registered another, and Scoresby move on to a 20-point margin. That's his third, and Scoresby a 6-4-40, leading Ringwood 3-2-20 in what may be considered a boil-over so far. 9 minutes second term, Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
Brett Rowe's going to be really disappointed. They had all the play for the first 8 minutes of that quarter, but they weren't able to put any score on the board with their dominance. And then at the first time Scoresby goes forward, they kick 1-1.
Well, it's opposite shoe on the opposite foot, though, for Scott Goldsworthy. He'd be pleased with the Magpies. They soaked up that pressure and went down the other end. And tell you what, Nathan Hicks, he doesn't like special comments, does he? He just straight into his stride there. He didn't give anyone any chance to comment on it, but he kicked straight.
Just does the work.
He's living up to his Peter Baird's call of him being the best set shot around. He's kicked 3 goals, 2 today, those 2 behinds from open play. So tap 1 down by Jared Hicks. And we'll have a secondary ball up in the middle of the Scoresby Recreation Reserve. Of course, they lead by 20 points over the undefeated Redbacks. Power wins this tap. Coming out of there quickly, though, is Ryle. His handball's out in front of Milligan. Ryle gets it back. Left foot grubber goes to, well, probably not his intended target, you suggest, because it's found the chest of Greason for the Redbacks, who switches the play quickly, taking it on and finding Anthony McCann, who was good in that first term. His drop punt out wide finds its target in Brown. Brown's short ball is intercepted by Lang, you'd suggest. It was probably heading towards Mitchell Jackson, and the big fella took on, bit off more than he could chew. Handball straight through to Ryle, who's wrapped up by Mitchell Jackson. But good work from the Magpies to lock it up here on centre wing.
So umpire Sully to get the ball back in motion once again. 55 out from the Scoresby goal. The tap won by Jared Hicks. They're playing with confidence. The Redbacks attempt to clear it laterally. It's a high ball towards it right half back. It may beat all comers to the boundary line. Chasing after it is Harry George. He can't keep it in. And we'll have a ball in once again. 60 out for the Maggies goal.
How is that wind? I don't think he expected it to go that far.
No, it just kept going.
Oh, look at it's cracking the flag, Spruce.
Boundary.
Let's head boundary side. Brett Beston.
Yeah, speaking of the wind, boys, it has got up a wee bit. It's a little bit gusty, but it's certainly a little bit stronger than it was in that first quarter.
Still going in the same direction, Brett?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Jared Hicks gives it back to his brother Ryan. They try and play the old 1-2. It's unsuccessful, however. We'll have a ball in almost on the true centre wing position at Scoresby Recreation Reserve.
You think if the Hicks amalgamated all their best and fairest votes, they could win the competition, being it?
Well, we'll save transportation of the medals, wouldn't they? Oh, no, they'd be living separately these days, wouldn't they?
So.
Yeah, well, you never know in this current climate. But anyway, trying to break through is Patrick Burmeister. He's got a couple of Magpies on top of him, besieged, and we'll have another bounce.
You're saying they're spending too much money on avocados, Damien?
No. I am interested in the plight of so many people.
Well,
trying to get a
wait.
house.
First of all, here there looks to be 2 boots stuck here. Burmeister,
comedy keeps going.
Boot. It looks like, is it one of the Hicks brothers here? Might be Ryan.
There we go.
His right boot was stuck to Paddy Burmeister's boot, and they've had to sort of. There's a bit of a halt in play as Burmeister's
Someone tied their
disjoined the
laces
two.
together.
They've tied their laces together. That would have been funny.
Not a bad break.
Hopefully they took off to run away, but we're going to restart it here. Just forward to centre wing in the Redbacks' favour, and Ben Powell wins the tap down in front of Callanan, who's been pretty quiet today, and he runs it out of bounds for a boundary thrown right in front of us here in the Unicorn as we'll go boundary side to BWS.
Yeah, Mitch Jacobs has just come back onto the ground, guys. In fact, you might say he's come back to the dark side because he's got a very impressive Darth Vader tat on his left shin. Keep an eye out on that one.
Oh, we are noticing everything and anything out there today. Good work, BWS. Tap down by Power, found Jackson. He's mung inside forward 50 is towards, it looks like Jordanov. He does well though. Bronx Geese came through. Didn't really get rid of it properly, but the umpire said he tried. Jordanov's got it on hands and knees now. He's wrapped up, and it's going to be a ball up there, wrapped up by Owen Chadwick, who's doing a pretty good job on him. And it's 13 minutes gone. We're deep inside Redbacks forward 50.
They've got to be smart here, Scoresby. They can't just boot it out because they've got Power sitting about 70 metres out from goal on his own.
Frosty's man, Chadwick, is free again. Paul, it is. Jordanov came through, got it through to... Is that Mitchell Farmer, who snapped it over his left shoulder and kicked a goal? Not much to do about the Ringwood players there kicking that ball. With a nice little work from Jordanov, flipped it through to Farmer. So Jordanov picks up on hands and knees. Little handball through. Farmer kicks his first, and the Redbacks have got another after all that pressure. Tim, it's 4-2-26. They still trail by 14 points. 13 minutes gone in this second term.
Yeah, they definitely needed that goal. I think probably reflects more of how the second quarter has played, them getting a goal. Because, Scoresby, they weathered the pressure for a long time, but couldn't quite do it on that occasion.
It's ironic that the goal was kicked with a blind shot, and they had 2 clear shots and couldn't get it earlier in the turn.
It's usually how it goes, isn't it, Damo?
Murphy's Law. So back at the middle, approaching the halfway mark of this second term, Scoresby with a 14-point buffer. The tap one for the Magpies by Jared Hicks, and they work it through for Chadwick towards right half forward. The Redbacks do have the numbers, however, to clear it from their defensive zone. And the mark's taken on centre wing by Mitch Jackson, who will slow play up, orchestrate an attack, wheels onto the right foot, spins a spearing ball into the middle, and a good mark taken by Callanan, who's off and running. A tumbling punt inside 50. It wasn't very clean. Still a chance for the Redbacks. Overrun on that occasion. Taken by Thompson for the Magpies. He's tackled very heavily there by Dyke, and we'll have a bounce deep inside the Redbacks 50.
That's that Ringwood pressure, Frosty, that they've usually had all year. That's back there. Good play by Callanan as well.
Yeah, they're starting to move the ball a lot more cleanly now through the lines, Ringwood.
Tap one by Jared Hicks for the Magpies. They walk it towards the 50. Good tackle affected there by Hill, and we'll see another stoppage right on the forward 50 for Ringwood. Good crowd in. Noticed a Richmond fan out there, probably missed out on a ticket in the MCG. But he's getting his money's worth today, that's for sure. It's been a good contest. Scoresby by 14 points. We're set in motion once again. Chadwick tried to break away from the pack. He's unsuccessful. We'll have another bounce.
Yeah, he's been dominant though today, Paul Chadwick. Leading all comers at the moment, you'd suggest. It's thrown up again. Hicks, and he's got a height advantage here over Declan Hill. He won the tap down. Coming through there, it looks like, and it is, Bradley Jones. And so he picks the ball up out of Scott Duncan's arms and gives it over to the umpire, and we'll have another ball up right in front of us here in the Unicorn. Scoresby 6-4-40 lead the undefeated Redbacks 4-2-26 as Hicks goes up against Hill. Hill won the tap though. Slapping it through there was Jackson. Got it through to Atwell, who dribbles it forward. Callanan's pushed over under past the footy. Jordanov does well, but Chadwick gets it, lets it allow to run through, to Bronze Geist, who's wrapped up. And now we're 15 metres out from the Redbacks goal. Mitch Farmer, of course, kicked the last one from a similar position. So Hicks will go up against Jordanov. No one is on Mitch Farmer. They've given him a fair bit of room here. Dangerous. No one's on Paul Chadwick either. So Hicks wins the tap down. Getting run into the back there. No free kick was the Ringwood play there in Harry George.
Good call.
We'll toss it up again. No free kick. Owen Chadwick's manning him up at this stoppage rather than going into his direct opponent, Jordanov, who's in the ruck against Hicks. Jared Hicks wins the tap down towards Duncan. Gathering it here nicely is Burmeister. Or Jackson, sorry, and he chips it back. Jackson's been good all day. Chips it back here to Stephen Brown.
Really good composure, Matt.
And Brown's gone straight back here. Not even looked for his teammates. He's going to have a pot shot here from just outside the arc. Damien Watson says it's 50, so he's kicking from about 52. Damo.
Yeah.
Wind is not at his back. It's probably hitting his right cheek, so he's going to have to hang this one out towards the right-hand side. Trots in. Pops it up. Does he have the distance? No, he doesn't. All comers come across. Jordanov tapped it down. On hands and knees there for the Redbacks. And a good tackle laid by Dyte. And he's pinged him, has he? Umpire's pinged him.
A bit of feeling too.
And there's a bit of feeling in it. There's a bit of to-do. There's going to be a free kick to Justin Dyte for holding the ball on Jared Hicks, I think.
I don't see what the difference is between that one and the last 5 minutes of play, really.
I do not know either.
Was the man with the ball.
Was it Wade McConnell there? Hicks is just manning the mark. I apologise to Jared Hicks, who didn't give away that free kick. Wade McConnell gets pinged. Justin Dyte's gone the check side. The Boonana! And he's kicked it! Santa Claus says that's a goal. The Boonana from Justin Dyte. He kicks the Redbacks 5th. They're 5-2-32. Scoresby 6-4-40. We've gone 18 minutes here in the second term.
Christmas in July, Matty.
Oh, look at this check side. Bang! Didn't even think about it, Dyte. He's done that at warm-up, I reckon, before training. Everyone goes down. No one kicks him from 35 out directly in front, Frosty. We all head to the pockets. And it's come in handy. And it's another goal for the Redbacks, and they're starting to really put some pressure on the Magpies, Tim.
Yeah, they are. You can see that they're starting to get their game going, as Pete said before. They're linking up a bit better. They're not as fumbly as they were in that first quarter. And Scoresby can't really get their hands on the footy like they did in the first quarter.
So Dyte's second major whittles the deficit back to 8 points. Ringwood against Scoresby. Top of the table clash in Division 3. It's renowned as one of the tighter divisions of the EFL, and it's bearing fruit once again this season. Back in the middle, Power wins a tap for the Redbacks. No one really wanting to claim it on ground level. Big Diezio had to go in and get it himself. Still no clear possession for the pack. Chadwick gets the clearance away. It's a tumbling ball, but only as far as Grierson for the Redbacks, who sends it the other way towards centre wing. In front there was Hill. Couldn't quite take the mark. The Magpies have the numbers. It comes out to Ryan Hicks. Sends a probing ball towards half forward, but it's all Ringwood marking that defensive arc, and they can clear it. Look laterally down the middle, looking for Power, and he takes it centre half back. They're off and running. The hand pass attempted to find Brown. Weaved his way around traffic. Still a chance here for Ringwood. They're looking tentative. Atwell got it away. And now the Redbacks to centre half forward. That's a brilliant looking kick. And the mark's been taken by Mitch Jacobs. And he can go back and have a shot from directly in front, 30 metres out.
Also, that first kick, I think it was Tim Wack on half back. Straight into the middle there. Took it on. Power, good mark in there away through Brown, who got lucky a bit in the middle, but he did well there, bursting the lines.
Something Ringwood are doing doing now is what Scoresby did in the first quarter, is trying to own that centre corridor, force Scoresby out wide. When the ball comes on the rebound, they've got numbers in the centre of the ground, able to transition the ball quickly. That's really good adjustment from the Ringwood Redbacks.
Mitch Jacobs composed in his run-up. This to bring the margin back to within 2 points. He's 30 out directly in front, should kick it, and does. We got a ball game at Scoresby Recreation Reserve. Scoresby a 6-4-40, Ringwood a 6-2-38. Approaching time on second turn, Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
Yeah, Ringwood have really adjusted to that different style of footy now. And I don't know if it's mental, if you believe you're kicking against the breeze, all of a sudden you drop off the things that worked so well for you in the first quarter and try and play a defensive brand of footy. But Scoresby have pushed numbers wide here, which has left the corridor open for Ringwood, and they're taking full advantage of it. They crisp the ball movement through the middle, and they're able to find one-on-ones in their forward line, which is what Scoresby were able to do in the first term, Tim.
Well, when they're playing at their best football, Ringwood, that's what they do, is they use that corridor and hit their targets, and Scoresby are just allowing them to do it a bit too easy, especially the last 5 minutes or so.
Well, they are moving it a lot quicker. Callanan's come into the game this quarter, which has been important for the Redbacks, but that run-off half-back from Stephen Brown's been impressive as well. So we toss it up. Power do battle here with DSO. Power on the tap. It's hacked forward by Jackson incidentally, but it's going to keep moving towards the Redback goal as a lot of players dive on top of it. There's Dylan Blackburn, of course, the late call-up for Trent Farmer, who is out. Replaced by, well, not replaced by, but Daniel Jordan was playing his role today for the Redbacks. So we're going to ball it up here, just off the cricket pitch. Centre of the ground. Tapped down by DSO. And picked up by McConnell, who gave it off to the runner in Walker. Walker's left foot kick is nice. Out wide, it's just over the head, though, of Nathan Hicks. And Scott Lang does well and slaps it over the boundary line for the Redbacks.
I don't know if that direction from Scott Goldsworthy to use that coach's box side of the ground here. They're too intent on doing that at the moment. Sometimes there are options open for them in the middle of the ground, but they're looking to play that defensive brand of footy against the perceived against the wind. So they just need to be a little bit more attacking at times, Scoresby.
DSO wins the tap down. Blythe, of course, gets his hands on it for the Redbacks and snaps it over his shoulder. Punching it away was Joel Thompson, does well, looking for, and Scott Duncan gathers it, but he's wrapped up brilliantly by Daniel Atwell, and the heat's gone up in this one, Damien. Okay, so a lot of tackling pressure from the Redbacks now lifting after a quiet first term. We knew it would happen. A bit of a stoppage. The runner's on the ground, causing chaos as they do. DSO wins the tap. And coming through and does his own crumb. He got the handball and went straight to a Ringwood player in Callanan's inside forward 50. He was taken without the footy, no free kick. Bronzegeese comes through and gets a handball over the top to it, looking towards McConnell, but it looped up in the air. Blackburn played for a free kick and didn't get it, and then riding into the back and getting a free kick. And it looks like it's going to be Harry George to get the free kick here. No, it's Callanan. So Zach Callanan, who's come into the game this quarter. Bradley Jones came straight into his back, and is Callanan going to have a shot here? He's outside the arc. It'd be an absolute roost from here. He's not. He's going to go short, and he has found a target in Blackburn. The late inclusion. He's going to go short, looking for Atwell. He's missed him, though, and he's found Daniel DSO in deep defensive 50 here for the Magpies.
So DSO look to clear it for Scoresby. He's got a number of options out wide. He elects to go with the hand pass, a short option. Finds his teammate in Ryle. Sends a high raking ball towards the outer side of the ground at a good mark. Taken up high there. I believe it was his teammate in Jared Hicks. So Hicks chips it short. They're just working it methodically forward here, the Magpies. Taken by Jones, who gave away that free kick, and she's followed it up with another error into the path of Blackburn with a kick that didn't really hit the target, and Ringwood are away as a consequence. Hand pass comes to the man in Mitch Jackson, who spears it towards centre half forward, looking for Blythe. Overcooked the kick, however. Blythe does have time on the 50 to settle. Straighten up and fire on the left foot. Set sail towards goal. It's wide. Downfield. He was knocked after he kicked it.
Toby Richards cleaned him up after he kicked it.
And this could be costly. The umpire's conferring.
It's gone through for a point, so it should come back to the point where he kicked it from.
That's right, and I think the player has to elect whether to take it or not, which he obviously will.
So well, we apologise for that language. It just floated through the FX mark.
So Blythe will take it. He's been excellent so far. A very prominent figure for Ringwood.
He and Mitch Jackson have been dynamic.
And he can reward himself with his first major, Jack Blythe, of the game. He'll be kicking from a difficult position, very acute angle, probably just beyond the 50-metre arc. Number of players working back on the goal line. if it does drop short. So Blythe to put Ringwood back in front. It's a long ball. It's well wide of the mark, and it just snuck in for a minor score. So no change at the end. A 1-point ball game at Scoresby Recreation Reserve. The Redbacks are 6-3-39. Scoresby 6-4-40.
Just wasted our time, Damo, hadn't he?
You got somewhere to be, mate.
Exactly. Oh, no.
It'd be funny if it went out in the full.
It would have, wouldn't it? So Bronze Geese brings it in. I reckon the Grog squad would have got into him. He goes long down the line towards Shambrook, who not towards Shambrook. Shambrook running for the Redbacks. He punches inside forward 50. Callanan gets the foot. He snaps it over his body, and he's kicked a goal. Zach Callanan gets one. Bronze Geese went long down the line to a pack of Scoresby players, and the big boy James Shambrook just fisted it back inside forward 50. And Zach Callanan was there, still set up in his zone position for the kick out, and that nice right foot snap puts the Redbacks in front. They're 7-3-45, Scoresby 6-4-40, and they've completely stopped in their tracks. 25 minutes gone in the second term.
Geez, that fist was worth more than a kick.
It was.
Worth more than a kick, I reckon.
A golden fist, if you will.
Yeah.
We're going to cross down to Brett Besson on the boundary.
And the first time that Ringwood have been in front today too, boys.
Correct. Damien Watson, what are your thoughts so far?
Well, it's just been a cracking game of footy, hasn't it? On the Bendigo Bank scoreboard, Ringwood by 5 points, and we're on the cusp of half-time. Tap one by Power, claimed is Atwell, and we'll have a secondary bounce in the middle. It's hard to tell who has the psychological advantage so far. Of course, Ringwood kicking with the breeze in this second term. Power winning the tap, but it falls into the arms of his opponent in Ryle, who hacks the kick towards centre half forward. They're away here, the Magpies. Onto the right foot is Cal McConnon. He looks out wide. That breeze picking up. It'll bounce fortuitously for his teammate in here. Sends a hand pass back. Chance for his teammate in Mark Williams to shoot for goal for his second. He's unsuccessful. Only a minor score. So Scoresby move on to 6-5-41. They trail Ringwood 7-3-45. Late second term on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
Lovely little tap from Mitchell Walker there after Hare's handball. Could have created one of the goals of the day. So I'm going to bring it back in through McCann for the Redbacks. Interesting. He is going to go to that coach's box side. So it's clearly the defensive side of the ground. That's a beautiful kick. It's found its target there in Sean Lucas. So Lucas on right half back. Taking his time. He's going to have to go long down the line as he's called to play on. He does go down the line. There's a pack of Scoresby players, but
Hill's out the back here on his own.
The fist's out here, and it's found that man Hill who handballs over the top to Dyke, who kicked that Boonana early. He wants Callan, and he's got the block though. Dyke goes to the top of the goal square towards Jordanov and Brongeese. Jordanov should have him in the air, but the kick, however, has just run away with the wind and dribbled over the boundary for a boundary throw in that left forward pocket. We're going to go down to BWS on the boundary.
Interesting to note that Scoresby have had triple the amount of interchanges as opposed to Ringwood. So I don't know why they need to make so many changes. Ringwood sticking with what's worked in this second term.
Great stat from BWS on the boundary. We're back in motion.
Oh,
That's
no.
out of the full.
That's silly.
That's almost hit Jesse here, our social media guru
The
on the
laptop.
chest.
She's not happy about it either.
So as a consequence, it'll be a Ringwood shot on goal.
Dan can't handle.
Jonathan
Jacobs.
Roberts. What was Jonathan Roberts thinking, Frosty? He must have known where he was.
Just lost perception, I think, of time and space.
Pressure.
That was Dustin Fletcher circa 2000 against the Bulldogs. So Mitch Jacobs will be the recipient. He's kicked one already. It's off the side of the boot
that
to
one.
the top of the goal square, and it's all Scoresby up in the air. A good mark taken in the key defensive post
Jared Hicks.
by Jared Hicks. And he can clear the defensive zone for the Magpies. Hicks goes very close to the man on the mark, dangerously in fact. Jordanov affected the smother, and as a consequence, it's only a minor score. The completing shot on goal.
I think that was Diet or Cairns, one of the two.
That out of bounds on the full right in front of us, they gave us a fantastic chance to check out that tattoo of Darth Vader on the calf there of Mitch Jacobs.
Yeah, it was, and BWS has already called it out. Both Statsman and I for tattoos down there. Bronze Geese will bring it back in. And his kick's measured, but it's just gone over the head of his target in Hicks, but the tap's gone in the hands of Walker, who runs away and hooks that left foot kick towards Paul Chadwick. It's just overcooked it, however, and it's a good running mark taken by Sean Lucas.
They've really nullified Chadwick's influence on the game.
They have in these last 10 minutes. Blythe just steps around Hicks there beautifully and goes short with his left foot ball towards his target in Blackburn. Oh no, Jackson got it over the top to Brown, who handballed and played for a free kick, and he's going to get it. Oh, umpire. He's played for that. You've fallen for it. Owen Chadwick gives the free kick away. Brown just handballed it up in the air and took the tackle. Some could say smarts. So, Brown is going to go into this forward pocket right in front of the Unicorn. Jordanov's got to run and jump at it. Got shoved under it. No free kick. And on hands and knees, Ryle is taken out of bounds for a boundary throw by Mitch Jackson right in front of us here. There's 28 and a bit minutes gone here, and it's the Ringwood Redbacks 7-4-46, leaving the Scoresby Magpies 6-5-41.
I don't think it's so much that they've taken Chadwick out of the game. They've just been so clean with their ball movement. They've deprived Scoresby the possession of the ball, which just means they've controlled the tempo of the game themselves.
On the brink of half-time, and it's Ringwood by 5 points, only a slender margin. No one can extricate it from the pack. Burmeister is gang tackled, and amongst the tacklers was Paul Chadwick. Will have a bounce 30 out for the Ringwood goal.
He's still left alone at every stoppage, Chadwick, which amazes me.
Approaching 30 minutes. Ringwood get the next one. Probably associated well with the breeze, given it's a 2-goal advantage. Good tackle applied by Burmeister. Again, he's in the thick of the action. Another bounce.
They cannot afford to give away another goal here, the Magpies. They need to keep the margin how it is heading into half-time.
It's probably in their favour if you consider the breeze advantage, but we are pretty even as we speak on the scoreboard. Burmeister again affecting the tackle in and under his dice. He won't retrieve it. The umpire will, however, will have a bounce. Here's Ben Warren-Smith, boundary side.
Looking forward to Matt Fode's shout for all the burgers at half-time too, the role of the main caller of the day.
Oh, I forgot my wallet, Ben.
That's right, the chairman of the Scoresby Footy Club said we're all on the house today, Matty.
Chadwick got the hand pass away and they'll loop it over through Jones, and now it's in the arms of Walker, and the siren sounds as the ball is taken by Bradley Jones, the receiver in the 1-2, and as a consequence it's half-time. Ringwood with a slender 5-point buffer at the major break. It's the Redbacks 7-4-46, Scoresby 6-5-41 in the top of the table clash in Division 3. Matt Fodia, what are the goal kickers?
Yeah, goal kickers for the Magpies. 3 to Nathan Hicks. He's kicked 3 goals too. He's been dynamite. Mark Williams, Jack Paravicini and Matt Korzik have singles, whilst for the Redbacks, Daniel Jordanov has 2, Justin Dyte has 2, Mitchell Jacobs, Mitch Farmer, Zach Callanan and have singles as well. So a dynamite quarter there from the Redbacks, kicking 4 goals for to the Scoresby Magpies, just 1 goal 2. Tim, Frosty, before we go to the break, any thoughts?
I think Scoresby just couldn't get their hands on the ball.